I still remember the sting of that moment, sharp as a desert wind cutting through the Arizona heat. My name's Sarah Jenkins, and for 15 years, I'd poured my soul into Westridge Agritech, a mid-sized firm nestled in the sun-baked valleys of Phoenix. We weren't some flashy Silicon Valley startup. We were the backbone of Western farming, crunching numbers on crop yields, water rights, and supply chains that kept ranches from Texas to California afloat. I'd started as a junior analyst, fresh out of Arizona State, and clawed my way up to lead financial architect. The forecasting system I built wasn't just code, it was my life's work, a beast of algorithms that predicted market swings, drought impacts, and commodity prices with eerie accuracy. It saved the company millions during the 2018 water crisis. But no one ever threw me a parade. They just patted me on the back and asked for more. That morning, the new CFO, Mike Reynolds, fresh from some Ivy League polish and reeking of overpriced cologne, marched into my office like he owned the Red Rock Canyons outside. "Sarah, your time here's done," he said, dropping the termination papers on my desk with a casual flick of a wrist, as if he were tipping a bartender. His eyes were cold, detached, like he was reading from a script he'd practiced in the mirror. 15 years. And this kid, barely 35, with a resume padded by boardroom buzzwords, thought he could erase me like a bad spreadsheet entry. Inside, my mind raced. How dare he? After all the nights I skipped family dinners, the weekends buried in data logs, holding this place together while execs chased golf balls and stock options. But outwardly, I stayed calm, my voice steady as the Colorado River. "All right,
Mike.
Best of luck with the harvest projections." He blinked, expecting hysterics or pleas, but I gave him nothing. Just gathered my thermos, the one etched with Desert Survivor, and tucked it into a cardboard box alongside a few personal files. As I logged out for the last time, my thoughts churned like a dust storm. They never appreciated the quiet ones.
Did they?
The ones who fixed the leaks before the flood hit. The system I designed was locked tight with protocols I'd implemented after a near disaster in 2020, when a rogue supplier tried to inflate costs and nearly bankrupted us. It required my biometric sign-off every quarter to recalibrate, a safeguard against tampering, all documented in memos that gathered dust in HR's files. No malice on my end, just good, old-fashioned risk management, compliant with federal regs on financial data security. Mike hadn't bothered with a handover. He was too busy optimizing the team, as if people were line items to slash. Walking out, past the cubicles where colleagues averted their eyes, I felt a hollow ache. Denise from payroll whispered, "He's gonna eat crow for this," but I just nodded, my inner voice screaming, why didn't they see my value? Was I invisible because I didn't schmooze at happy hours? The security guard,
Ray?
an old-timer with a mustache like a Western movie extra, escorted me to the lot. "You okay, Sarah?" he asked, genuine concern in his drawl. "Peachy," I replied, shifting the box. The Phoenix sun beat down, turning the asphalt into a griddle. But inside, doubt gnawed at me. 15 years. And this is it. A pink slip from a hotshot who doesn't know beans about our operations? I drove home to my modest ranch-style house on the outskirts, the saguaro cacti blurring past like silent witnesses. Unpacking the box, I stared at the origami crane an intern had folded for me during a brutal audit season, a silly token. But it hit hard. What now? Start over at 50? I opened my laptop. Not to job hunt, but to check the remote logs I'd set up for backups. Purely precautionary. Nothing illegal, just mirrored alerts in case of system failures. At 3:15 p.m., the first ping, access attempt denied. My heart skipped. They're already hitting walls. The protocol was kicking in. A 72-hour lockout if no admin activity registered. Not revenge. It was built that way to prevent stale data from skewing multi-million-dollar decisions on grain futures and irrigation loans. By evening, as I sipped iced tea on the porch watching the sunset paint the mountains gold, more logs trickled in. Failed logins from Mike's IP. He's panicking now, I thought. A mix of satisfaction and guilt twisting in my gut. But why guilt? I warned them about single-point dependencies in my last review. Still, the human side tugged. Families depended on this company. Ranchers who'd lose if projections tanked. I pushed it down, focusing on the quiet. For the first time in years.
No urgent emails. No midnight crisis.
Yet sleep evaded me. My mind replaying the dismissal. Did I fail to speak up enough? Or was it always going to end this way in a world that values flash over substance? The next day, the whispers started. A text from Greg in supply chain. Boards flipping out. Models bricked. I didn't reply, but inside, turmoil brewed. Part of me wants them to suffer, to learn. But is that who I am? The system wasn't just tech. It was woven into the fabric of Western AG life, factoring in everything from wildfires to tariff wars. Without it, they'd be guessing blind, risking loans that could bankrupt small farms. Mike's ego had lit the fuse, but I held the extinguisher. As alerts piled up, credential mismatch, recalibration required, regret seeped in. Maybe I should reach out.
No.
Let them come to me. The internal conflict raged, pride versus compassion. The desert's harsh survival instinct clashing with the community spirit that defined the West. By mid-morning, the logs were a symphony of desperation. Override attempts from IT, flagged and denied. I pictured Mike in his corner office, overlooking the Phoenix sprawl, sweating through his starched shirt. He's realizing now that streamlining means more than firing the veterans. My phone buzzed with a LinkedIn message from a junior analyst. Sarah, hope you're good. Quick question on the model. I ignored it, but the knot in my stomach tightened. These kids didn't deserve this mess. They're just trying to pay rent in this inflated market. The West was tough, droughts, economic booms and busts, but we'd always pulled together.
Now.
My safeguards were unraveling that unity. I took a drive out to the Superstition Mountains. The rugged peaks a reminder of resilience. Parking at a trailhead, I hiked a short path, the crunch of gravel under boots grounding me. Why does it hurt so much? 15 years. And they toss me like yesterday's news. Flashbacks hit, building the system from scratch after the embezzlement scare. Nights coding while my marriage crumbled under the strain. I'd sacrificed personal life for corporate loyalty, only to be betrayed. But revenge? That's not the Western way. We face storms head-on, not by hiding dynamite. Still, the drama unfolded in my mind. Mike scrambling. The CEO, John Harlan. A no-nonsense rancher-turned-exec, fuming in board meetings. Back home. More pings. A voicemail from HR. Sarah, we'd love to chat informally. Informal? My foot. They were circling the wagons. But pride whispered, make them beg. Inside. Empathy warred. What if this tanks the company? Jobs lost. Families uprooted in this vast, unforgiving landscape? The system locked fully at noon. A protocol I designed to comply with SOX regulations, ensuring audit trails stayed clean.
No hacking.
No foul play, just the consequences of their haste. Afternoon brought a call from an unknown number. I let it ring, heart pounding. Is this it? The moment they admit fault? It was John himself. Voice gravelly, like tumbleweeds on asphalt. Sarah. It's John. We need to talk. I answered coolly. What's up?
He sighed.
The weight of the boardroom in that breath. The models down.
Hard.
Boards breathing down my neck for Q3 projections. Of course they are. I thought. Without it. You're navigating the Mojave without a map. Sounds rough, I said, masking the turmoil. Part of me wants to lash out, scream about the injustice. But that's not healing. He explained the chaos, delayed supplier contracts, investors pulling back. We didn't realize the depth of your work. Understatement of the year. My mind raced. Do I gloat? Or extend an olive branch? I chose measured words. John. That system complies with every FedReg on data integrity. You cut me without transition. That's on you. Silence.
Then.
You're right. Mike jumped the gun. The admission fueled my inner storm. Finally. Validation. But at what cost? We talked logistics. I offered remote access guidance, but insisted on formal reinstatement talks. Hanging up. Relief mixed with sorrow. This isn't triumph. It's a wake-up call for all of us. Evening fell. The desert cooling as stars pierced the sky. I journaled my thoughts. Why did I build it so dependently? Fear of losing control? Or trust issues from past betrayals? The drama intensified in my head. Mike's fall from grace. The company's near miss. But humanity crept in. He's just ambitious.
Blinded by ego.
Like I was.
Once.
A text from Denise. Boards grilling Mike. Your name's everywhere. Not revenge. I reminded myself. Redemption. Sleep came fitfully. Dreams of locked doors and open planes symbolizing my conflicted soul. The following day ramped up the pressure. Logs showed frantic IT scrambles. But without my biometrics, they were stuck. John called again. Urgency edging his tone. Sarah.
Can you come in?
Board's here. I agreed. But on my terms, no rush.
No subserviense.
Driving downtown, past strip malls and palm trees, doubt assailed me. Am I walking into a trap? Or a chance to rebuild? The office loomed, a glass monolith against the arid backdrop. Inside, tension hung thick as smog. Colleagues nodded respectfully. Whispers following. She's back. In the conference room, Mike sat deflated, avoiding my gaze. John greeted me warmly, a far cry from indifference. Thanks for coming. I nodded, opening my laptop. Let's fix this. As I explained the architecture, inputs from USDA reports, climate models tailored to Western risks, the room absorbed it. They see me now, I thought. A bittersweet victory. Mike muttered apologies. His bravado shattered. Inside, forgiveness stirred. We're all flawed. Chasing the American dream in this harsh land. Restoring access took minutes. But the emotional recalibration? That dragged on. As the dashboard lit up, charts forecasting wheat yields amid potential El Niño shifts, the board exhaled collectively. Incredible, one murmured. John leaned in. Sarah. We messed up. Big time. Understatement. My inner voice sniped, but I silenced it. Time for bridges, not burns. Mike shifted uncomfortably, his face a mask of regret. I didn't understand the full picture, he admitted, voice cracking. The admission hit me. He's human too, probably pressured from above, dreaming of quick wins in this cutthroat economy. We dove into discussions. I laid out terms, reinstatement as chief systems architect, direct report to John, and a team to train successors. No more single points of failure. And compensation reflecting my contributions, I added, steady despite the inner quake. Am I asking too much? Or finally claiming what's due? The board agreed swiftly. Murmurs of essential asset floating around. But I pushed further. This can't happen again. We need protocols for transitions, valuing experience over expediency. John nodded. You're right. Lesson learned. As the meeting wrapped, Mike approached privately. Sarah.
I'm sorry.
Truly.
His eyes.
Once arrogant, now pleaded. Inside, my heart softened. Holding grudges is like drinking poison in the desert. It only kills you. Apology accepted, I said. But learn from it. We're a team, not a hierarchy. He nodded, relief washing over him. Walking out, lightness buoyed me. This isn't just my win, it's growth for everyone. Back home, reflecting on the porch as coyotes howled distantly. Emotions surged. Why did it take crisis for them to see? My quiet dedication dismissed as dispensable. But positivity emerged. Now, we build better. The next days blurred into reintegration. I trained apprentices, sharing knowledge I'd hoarded out of insecurity. Letting go feels freeing. I realized. Colleagues welcomed me warmly. Stories of the chaos underscoring my value. Greg joked. You saved our hides, but I demurred. It was collective negligence. Drama peaked when John called a company-wide meeting. Standing before the staff in the airy atrium, he owned the mistake. We undervalued Sarah, and it nearly cost us everything. From now on, we prioritize people over processes. Applause rippled. But inside, I wrestled humility. Don't let this inflate your ego. Stay grounded. Mike spoke too. Humbled, I rushed judgments. Sarah's grace taught me patience. The vulnerability humanized him, easing my lingering resentment. Evenings brought introspection. Journaling under starlit skies. I confronted shadows. My system's design mirrored my fears, control as armor against betrayal. But the West taught adaptation. Rigid cacti thrive by bending. Forgiveness isn't weakness, it's strength. Family calls poured in. My sister from Tucson. Proud of you.
Cease.
You turned poison into medicine. Her words healed old wounds from neglected relationships. As weeks passed, the company transformed. New protocols ensured knowledge sharing, compliant with labor laws emphasizing fair transitions. I mentored Mike subtly, his ambition tempered by wisdom. We're allies now, not adversaries. Inner peace settled. This ordeal stripped illusions, revealing true worth. The drama faded, replaced by collaborative energy. Driving through sun-drenched valleys, I felt reborn. Life's like the desert, harsh, but full of hidden oases if you look. Yet doubts lingered in quiet moments. What if they forget again? But trust grew, rooted in mutual respect. The system's updates included redundancies, symbolizing our evolution. One night, stargazing. Epiphany struck. Payback isn't destruction, it's enlightenment. The human element prevailed, turning tragedy into triumph. Months in, the changes bore fruit. Q4 projections, now team-vetted, guided us through a volatile market, securing deals that bolstered Western farms against climate whims. I led workshops on system intricacies, watching young analysts' eyes light up. This is legacy, I thought. Warmth replacing bitterness. Not hoarding knowledge, but seeding it. Mike evolved too. His reports carried humility, crediting the team. A coffee chat revealed his backstory. Pressured by family expectations, he'd chased shortcuts. You showed me the long game's worth, he said. Empathy bloomed. We're all navigating personal droughts. Inner conflicts eased, but echoes remained. Dreams revisited the firing, the humiliation, the doubt. Waking, I'd affirm that pain forged resilience. Family ties strengthened. I visited my folks in Sedona, sharing stories over barbecues. You turn the tables with class, Dad said, pride in his weathered eyes. Class over vengeance, the Western code. A board retreat in the Grand Canyon amplified lessons. Hiking rims, John confided. Your return saved more than numbers. It reminded us of humanity in business. Nodding, I shared. We all err. Forgiveness rebuilds. The vast chasm mirrored our journey, depths of despair leading to panoramic views. Drama's not the end, it's the catalyst. Back at work, a promotion formalized my role, with equity stakes tying my fate to the company's. No more disposable, integral. Yet humility grounded me. Success is collective. Mentoring sessions delved deep, not just code, but ethics. Compliance with regs like the Fair Labor Standards Act ensuring equitable treatment. One evening, as monsoon rains quenched the parched earth, reflection deepened. Why did I forgive so readily? Fear of isolation? Or genuine belief in redemption? The answer crystallized. Humanity demands it. In this interconnected West, one person's fall ripples to many. Mike's transformation affirmed that he advocated for veteran retention, citing my case. The story's ripple extended beyond walls. At a Phoenix industry conference, I spoke on resilient systems, weaving in the ordeal sans blame. Attendees nodded.
Sharing similar tales.
We're not alone in this corporate frontier. Applause felt validating, but inner satisfaction trumped it, healing through sharing. As year-end approached, bonuses reflected growth, mine substantial, but I donated part to local farm aid. Pay it forward. Holidays brought closure, a company party where toasts honored unity. Mike clinked glasses to second chances. Smiling, I replied, to learning curves. Inside, peace reigned. The drama's curtain fell.
Revealing étrangers ensemble.
Looking back, the firing wasn't an end, but a rebirth. The system I built, once a shield, became a bridge. Westridge thrived, projections guiding sustainable expansions into renewable AG tech, aligning with Western eco-priorities. I chaired diversity initiatives, ensuring voices like mine, seasoned, understated, were heard, compliant with EEOC guidelines. Personal growth flourished. I remarried to a kind rancher met hiking, balancing life beyond screens. The ordeal taught equilibrium. Inner monologues quieted. No more what-ifs, embrace what is. Mike rose as a better leader. His arc inspiring, from hubris to humility. The light lesson? Value the quiet architects. They're the foundation. In America's West, where vast spaces foster introspection, we learned that true strength lies in community, not conquest. Forgiveness isn't forgetting, it's forging ahead. Wiser. As sunsets continue to grace the horizon,
I'm grateful.
The drama sculpted us, but humanity polished the edges. Life's forecasts may falter, but with heart, we recalibrate.